What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's going on with NIO, Tesla, SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'll break down what's happening to the overall market thus far, what you should be watching for as time progresses, what's going on with other factors affecting the markets, and how things are looking in my honest opinion. But before I break into all this information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. Firstly, I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo, the link down below, and deposit $100 into the account, you are guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed up to 15 free stocks, and the offer ends very, very soon. Anyways, when it comes to the market right now, NIO is respecting a very, very nice uptrend, trying to push up towards this resistance at 5.92. In order for this to break out, we have to try to break this resistance to get up to about 6.13. Once we get above that, we could start pushing to much higher levels. But I do see an issue with NIO. The first thing is the volume is slowing down quite a bit, and we're losing some momentum right over here looking at these indicators. And the overall market is showing some weakness, which could slow NIO down to some extent. So I want to give you guys a warning about this and talk about what's coming up for the trading week before I break down some charts. So for the week, do not forget that based off how things are looking tomorrow, not tomorrow, but going into next week, don't really have much on Monday, March 11th, but on Tuesday, March 12th, we have a CPI coming out, which is going to be very important. It's going to cause a big move in the markets, so watch for that. On Wednesday, we don't really have a whole lot coming out. We just have some mortgage data and things like that. Thursday is when we have the PPI report, which is going to be very, very important. Not to mention Friday, which is when we have more industrial data and manufacturing numbers. Not to mention the Michigan consumer sentiment reports and things like that. So the data is not going to be as crazy, but it's going to be kind of big starting from Tuesday and Thursday. So we'll see what happens for the week. As far as earnings goes, there's not really much going on. We just have like Ballard and Oracle and a few others like that. And then we have Kohl's, more retail as the week goes on. We do have Adobe and just a few others, but that's pretty much it for now. Nothing too crazy. All earnings are starting to cool off. Nothing is that absolutely insane. Now for NIO put this on their Twitter page for the NIO community. Women's stories are a beacon of hope. Let's amplify their voices and create a more inclusive world. So they're actually talking about Women's Day. That's good that they're showing a lot of recognition for different people out there, and they're still very positive on their Twitter page. So that's good news. I didn't see anything else that was posted. That's actually something I haven't talked about. So there's nothing new on their Twitter. As far as the news goes, however, NIO or NOP Plus is basically the assisted driving feature. It covers. It's now going to be expanded to 726 cities, which is good news for NIO. This is going to be inclusive in the Chinese mainland, and they have over 1 million kilometers of road verification. This is some awesome news for NIO because by doing so, they're actually going to become more and more intelligent over time, these cars, and their overall ability to drive throughout more miles, look at the data, extrapolate it, and then use it to improve their systems. That is good for FSD technology. That's very, very good for AI development. And that is very, very good for NIO. So this is actually a good piece of news for them as they're expanding its capabilities. Now, on top of this, volume was at about 37 million, a little bit below average. So like I said, it's kind of slowing down a bit as the share price is just trading sideways. And the short volume is actually down here, is at about 39%, so not much is changing. For us moving forward, Bernstein gave NIO this rating where they're saying it's going to perform equally with the market. Bank of America Securities is also quite neutral, and Jefferies is giving it a hold rating thus far. Financial estimates are not the strongest for NIO, but they did end up beating on earnings, which is a good sign, which shows that the estimates tend to underestimate what NIO is capable of. And the price-price ratio is going up a bit because NIO is gaining some strength. In terms of seasonality, we tend to be stronger during Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and that is it for now. So what is going on with NIO? What is my warning for everyone? So basically, NIO is on a slight uptrend. There is potential for this thing to go all the way up to $6, but just be very, very careful because the overall market is looking weaker. And if NIO ends up turning with the market, watch 5.6. If we lose that, 5.67, we're going to start sinking all the way back down closer to $5 flat, in my opinion. So we want to be very careful with this. We're losing some momentum right here. The volume is slowing down. So just be careful, and we'll see how well NIO holds up. It's still showing some strength. But the concern I have is the way SPY is looking. Is showing a lot of weakness right now after this big bar formed on the daily. So I think that the daily is showing that this thing has more potential selling that's coming, and we are going to be looking at a trend reversal. Now we could kind of excuse me, bounce a little bit from here, try to rebound just a little bit, then continue to sell off as time goes on. I do believe there's going to be more selling by Tuesday, but I think that for Monday we're going to rebound a little bit, then continue this sell off, and eventually we're going to see 510 and 508. For Tesla, Tesla's looking a little bit weak on the daily time frame, so there is a risk of it retesting 173 and even lower levels. So be very careful. It may rebound a bit, but then start selling off more. I'm seeing the same thing for other stocks out there like Super Micro. I could see this thing continuing to sell off towards 1100 and eventually break that. We have this big gap in the 900s, so watch that very carefully. Aapl, on the other hand, is showing a little bit of strength. It was trying to bounce, but now it's coming back down. It did close somewhat in the green, but watch and see if we could hold above 170. If we do hold this, there is some potential for it, but if it loses this, it could end up failing. So it tried to bounce and it came back down, so it's barely holding 170. We'll see how that looks. QQQ is looking kind of bearish. I do see this thing coming down to about 435. If that fails us, we're going to be coming all the way down to fill this gap. So I do see a little rebound coming first and another continuation down, so be very careful. And the market showing this weakness alongside other stocks like Nvda. Nvda reached 974 and got a big rejection, could rebound a bit, then continue lower all the way down to about 792 potentially if we lose 850. So I think 850 is going to come. We might pop and drop to watch for that, and we could sell off even more. So that being said, with the whole market turning, including Tesla, this could be not the best for NIO as we're losing this momentum. We have a bullish wedge trying to form. We've got to break that 5.9 resistance. There is potential for it to try to do so. But for the last few days, we've been trading very sideways, so I'm a little bit concerned about NIO. And if the market gets in the way, this could slow things down. So technically speaking, it does look kind of bullish. Could push a little bit, but just be careful because the overall market may drag it back down. All right, so look for the little pop to 5.92, then we could turn back down later on. With that being said, that is it for the analysis. I want to keep this nice, short, sweet, and simple. I thank you all so much for listening. A couple of more things I just wanted to note are that with NIO trying to outperform the market, we're going to be watching to see what happens with CPI and those other factors that could also affect NIO. And right now, I want to warn you about one more thing. There's a lot of bad news coming out for NIO and the EV market and Tesla and these other stocks out there. Tesla was just absolutely hammered and just attacked by the news for the entire week, which is why it ended up dropping. So I want to just let you guys know that some of this could make its way towards NIO as the overall market is just it's basically being very, very stubborn, and we're starting to see a lot of negative headlines. So be careful, guys. The media is very biased. They do like to make certain headlines come out there just to, get as many views as possible. Although in the daily time frame, NIO is holding up. I want to see it break 5.9. It should be bullish. There is still potential for it to test that. Watch and see if we get a rejection or not. And if we lose 5.6, I would turn more bearish. So it might pop. It may pop and then we'll see if it rejects or not. But I just want to warn you to be careful with all this negative news, and also be very, very careful because of the overall market, because of the way it's been performing as of recently. All right, so that is it for this one. The weekend is about to start, so I hope you guys have a great weekend. I'll be back on Sunday for another video. I'm going to be taking Saturday off, so take care, guys. Do what you have to do, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you, NIO to the moon, and peace out.